This is an efficiency is everything new idea. Yeah, so this is not a article summary. This is how I'm using ChatGPT. And actually, I kind of like GPT-3 a little bit better, but that's kind of a nuance that I don't think you should really get into the first time you use ChatGPT. So why is efficiency is everything covering this? And my reason is I've saved a ton of time on this. That's my daughter. Things went crazy this morning. So here are some ideas on how you can save time on ChatGPT. So simplest way, and this is the most generic, ask for 10 ideas. Instead of you thinking through your own problems, just see what it has to say. Then you don't have to really rack your brain right away. I mean, maybe you want to get some of your creative ideas out, but this will save you some time. And then the next thing, if you don't like the ideas, you can disagree with it and it'll come back with some new ideas. But what I like to do is I like to ask for flaws. I'm like, why won't these ideas work? And then I like to ask, how do I solve these flaws? So it never gets angry at you, as far as I can tell. They'll typically keep answering your almost pointless questions. All right, so down to specifics. So this one was really cool. Ask it to solve your home improvement problems. And I specifically will say, I want it to be free. I want it to be zero effort. And I don't want to go to the hardware store. And they'll give you some ideas, a little bit creative. They might not be the most permanent, but it'll solve your problem a little bit. Sometimes. We've lost a few manuals to different appliances. It's not great, but sometimes you can get some answers to different household appliance problems. If you're bored at night, have it write fan fiction. So we were into Star Wars for a minute and we really like Lord of the Rings. And I would ask it to write a high school comedy or a romance comedy, and then I would ask it for hilarious scenes. And we got hours of entertainment out of that. And then, this is definitely an efficiency one, not just entertainment. So groceries. Now, mind you, we have our list of groceries. If you guys go on the website, you'll see our 4 weeks of groceries. But as you know, I have to try new stuff. So this is a great way to come up with new ideas for different recipes. And further, we've run into this issue where our kids need snacks. I'm just not going to cook a meal for them or microwave something every single time. So I asked, give me 30 snacks, make sure they're cheap, make sure they're healthy, and make sure they take zero effort. And it gave me 30 snacks. Now here's the caveat on all this ChatGPT stuff. It's going to be wrong. It's going to be wrong a lot. So out of that 30, I think maybe like 8 to 15 of them were good ideas. But that said, now I have 8 things on my grocery list. It didn't take me any time to think about it. And now, we got these cheap, healthy, and zero effort snacks. And mind you, if you want to be ridiculous, you can say things like, make them green now. And then it'll give you 30 what it thinks is green. And you'll probably get some like lemons and a bunch of fruits that aren't green in it. But, at least you don't have to think yourself. You just have to check it over. Mixing two people's preference. So I am a self-declared Stoic, and my wife has kind of declared herself an Epicurean / maybe I classified her as an Epicurean. So we'll ask, say a Stoic and an Epicurean want to go on vacation. Where should we go? Or Stoic and Epicurean are having an evening. What should they do? And you can even get more specific. You can tell it your taste. You can say, so I'm an engineer by degree, and I also program. So I'll say, I'm an engineer and programmer. I have 3 kids, and give it this kind of information, and then ask for some suggestions, and they'll kind of tailor it towards you. Gym advice. So I've been stuck on bench press for a while. I just cannot get past my number, and I asked why, and it did me like that. It told me I wasn't engaging my chest. That was the first one. And I thought about when I'm failing on bench, I don't feel it in my chest. So in that case, it just hit the nail on the head. And the other week when I did chest, I felt my chest engage. I heard so many cracks, different bones popping. I should know this because my wife's a physical therapist. Anyway, so clearly I was not engaging my chest, and it predicted that. And remember, this is just an autocomplete program. There's no sentience here. If you are using your phone and you're texting someone and it suggests the next word, that's essentially what this program does, but it has mined a huge portion of the internet to come up with your result. Now, I'm just going to rattle off a last few ideas. Coming up with games for the kids, I'll ask for games that don't require a parent to be playing, and then I'll teach the kids those games. I mentioned discussing your life, so you describe your life. Then I'll ask, what are my opportunities? What are my weaknesses? What are my threats? I even asked, how can I be exploited? And it's kind of creepy how well it knew me. I like to think of myself as an engineer that's very rational and logical. Whew. If someone did the things they said, I would be a big fan of them. I had a reoccurring dream, won't get into it. I don't usually have dreams either, so this was kind of weird. So I had to analyze my dream, and wow. I think I agree. None of these are certain, but it's just an extra idea for you. We got some new fish, and we asked for pet names. Now, mind you, my kid easily came up with some pet names, but I asked, what are pet names for stoic fish, or what are pet names for Detroit Lions fans? So you can get hundreds of pet names if you want. And then this is very a niche thing, but we have a 1.5-year-old, and she's just learning to talk. And I will type in how she says a word, and I'll ask, what do you think she's saying? And it'll give me like 20 possible answers. And it's been pretty good at finding, the one answer. That's some uses of ChatGPT. I highly recommend it. I know a lot of people are like, well, it's going to go away. It's some technology, in 2 weeks, no one's going to care about it. I don't think that's what's going to happen here. I think these large language models are here to stay. And it's important for you to learn it as a tool. It's not going to be correct all the time. And you kind of have to go through that breaking point of, this is really interesting. And then you look it up to see if it's factually correct, and it's not. So I think everyone has to go through that. I know Google stock just dropped 15%, and I think it's because those traders have no idea that these large language models are limited. They're not always going to provide factual information. So, but that said, it is such a huge tool. It saves me a tremendous amount of time. I can't think of a better efficiency news to tell you. So definitely check it out. They require your phone number and email. So, expect them to then track you for the rest of your life. But I still, even with that, I highly recommend it. So, all right, well, I wish you luck. If you find other time-saving tricks or even money-saving tricks through ChatGPT, shoot me a comment. I'm just fascinated by this thing. I've been using it for a little over a month, and it's come up with all sorts of great time-saving ideas as well. So, all right, well, guys, take care.